Well, hello, retro game players. Thanks for tuning in. This is I'm Moving, the Dreamcast collection. Now, a few words here. The Dreamcast was the very first system I ever bought on a launch day, September 9th of 1999. The only other time that I even came close would be the N64. I got that basically the first week or 2 weeks of the system being launched. And, you know, that system was pretty interesting, how there was so few games launched. Well, with Dreamcast, there was some really awesome titles right out of the gates, which any launch, you know, has to have, of course. Now, I will say this too, as I went on, you know, from 1999, I bought a bunch. I bought a bunch of these games. I can't remember the website that I used, but there was this website where I was able to order everything, like pre-order. And I remember I was working in a computer job at the time, and I just pre-ordered probably like, I'm not going to say like 10 games, but probably like, you know, 7, 8 games. And, you know, Soul Calibur, right off the bat, was one of the best games I ever played. And literally it turned into like the best party game ever. I mean, I had friends come over and they would just want to play that game. We would end up playing it seriously like 4, 5, 6 hours. Just so much, you know. But as time went on, a few things started to happen to the Dreamcast. One, the sales started to decline. I couldn't afford to just keep buying new games. So, you know, what I'm getting at, I think some of you might know, but it became very easy to burn games for the Dreamcast. I mean, it became ridiculously easy. And so if you had a fast internet connection, you could download a game and you had a CD burner, you could burn games all day long. And I'm not going to just go into the huge, massive, freaking burned game collection that I have, but it's pretty insane. And this is my actual physical Dreamcast collection, so it's not major, it's not anything insane, but I've got a lot of the titles I want. I'm missing a lot that I would like to have, and I'm missing some of the ones that I used to have too. So anyway, with all that said, it is easy to burn the games for this system. Same with, you know, a lot of the other systems like PlayStation and, you know, Sega Saturn and Sega CD. And, you know, if you're inclined, you can do that. But, you know, something is very cool about, you know, collecting the physical games and playing them. And, yeah, I mean, you know, it's just that the Dreamcast games, too, by the way, I'd like to say, generally aren't too expensive at this point in time. You know, some of them can be, but I would say that a lot of them, you know, aren't that bad. And so if you're looking to collect for something, the Dreamcast is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and go through what I have as far as my collection, which again is pretty modest. So first off, we've got this strange little demo disc which has a bunch of games on there, and since I don't have a lot of games, I thought I'd talk about some of these if I know. You know, Ready to Rumble Boxing, I don't even know if I have that one, but that's a great game. The sequel is really fun too. Power Stone is amazing. Power Stone 2 is also amazing. What a fun fighting game. I never played this one. House of the Dead 2 is awesome. Just great graphics. I think I've got Sonic Adventure. Sega Bass Fishing, I never really got into that, but that had its own controller. Champ Car Racing, I don't think I played that. And Flag to Flag, I never played that either. So, you know, that's kind of cool. This is NBA 2K, and I'll tell you what, these games are awesome. Like, they are really fun sports games, and the announcers are realistic, and at the time, this was just badass. I mean, the football games even more so. This is Ready to Rumble Boxing, the one that I just mentioned, but it's, I can't remember, this is round 2, so this is the sequel. And, you know, this had some really cool cartoony graphics, and it seems like there was, like, Michael Jackson was in this one, too. So, yeah, there he is. But anyway, it was a really interesting game. And I think that Michael Jackson was a Sega fan, too. So I don't know if he, like, knew about this and whatever, but that's definitely him. So, I mean, he could easily have sued for the likeness. I think he wanted to be in a game, even though it was by Midway. I don't know. I'm just speculating, though. Just speculating. This is a fun game though. Crazy Taxi. This is a great game. Let's get crazy. I mean, that announcer, just the announcer is awesome. Yeah, anyway, Crazy Taxi 1 and 2, both of those are really fun games. Now this is a really good one. This is Capcom vs. SNK. It's a good fighting game. I mean, it's a classic. So this one's actually, I'd say, one of the more expensive ones to get. Ready to Rumble, this is the first one. I like how it's like hot, new. That's not a sticker. I think that's actually like on the manual, which, oh, it's kind of stuck in there. But anyway, yeah, it's actually on the manual, so it's kind of funny. Yeah, this is cool though. That guy, I can't remember. Oh yeah, Michael Buffer. So he actually did like announcing in a lot of different movies and actual boxing matches, and I think like UFC. And he had a brother too that also was an announcer. This is the web browser 2.0. I can't remember what the difference is between 1.0 and 2.0, but this would let you get online. And if you had a keyboard, if you had the Dreamcast keyboard, you could, you know, type things in and send emails and that kind of stuff. Oh, and this is sealed, by the way, which is kind of cool. Here's NHL 2K, which again is a really good Sega sports title, except it's just hockey, so that's a really fun one. Carrier is kind of a, I'd say sort of bad, kind of Resident Evil clone, except it's a little bit more futuristic if I remember right. But yeah, kind of cool. This is World Series Baseball 2K2. I never really played this one, but I'd imagine it's pretty good. I haven't played that. This is Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. This is an awesome version of this game. Really, really fun. Great graphics. It plays well. NCAA 2K2, so again, another sports football one. This is Test Drive 6. This is actually a pretty good game. It's not bad. I mean, I think that there's some better racers on the system, but this one is really good. And then this is the one that I probably played the most as far as a sports game, NFL 2K. I mean, this was insane. And when I was bored, I would sometimes just set up the computer to battle, you know, to fight each other, just two teams, and just have it on in the background. And I swear people would think that it's like a real game if anyone saw it. At the time, the graphics were just phenomenal, and like the snow. And anyway, what a cool game. Of course, Soul Calibur. If you've been watching the channel, you know I've been playing through this. One of the best games ever. Talk about tight controls, and the fighting engine is almost flawless, I would say. I mean, it's just so intense. And if you play with someone who's good, you can have just insanely awesome battles where you're blocking and countering. And oh man, what a great game. This is the very first web browser, so a little different than the 2.0. NBA 2K1, so just an update on the basketball one. And then Gundam Side Story. This is a kind of a rarer game, I'd say. I'm missing the back artwork, but you know, pretty awesome to have this one. And then Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation, so another really cool one to have if you like the Lara Croft or Lara Croft. So, and then here's NFL 2K1, again, just another update on the football game, and this one's awesome too. All right, of course, Shenmue. What an amazing game this is. I mean, seriously, like when this came out, I couldn't even believe how fun this was to play, and it really, really just drew you into the world. And I've played through this 2 times, and I just love it. And the sequel is really good too, which I do have on Xbox. I've always looked for the European version of this on the Dreamcast, and it's just really hard to find. So yeah, I mean, I've played it on Dreamcast, but I'll just say it's one of the copies that I've burned. Now, I will tell you this too, that I did find a version of the European version for Dreamcast that had the voices from the Xbox in English, and anyway, it worked. It actually would play through on your Dreamcast and play the English voices from the Xbox version, which was really interesting. And it would get off a little bit, like this, it would get out of sync. But anyway, pretty cool. This is just the Tennis 2K2. This is actually a really awesome game. I mean, these guys made so many awesome sports games. Here's NBA 2K1. I think I already had that. That might be a duplicate. Dead or Alive 2. This is such an awesome game. Great fighting game. Awesome multi-level kind of stuff. So you can kick people out of the arena. They'll smash through a window and land in another level, and you can jump down and fight them there. This is one of the only games ever that I've gotten motion sickness on, but it was while I was drinking at the time. So, that's probably part of it. Also, if you go into the options menu and put your age, there's a thing in there that says age, like how old you are, which is a really weird option. But if you put it up to 99, the women get more well endowed. Okay, so I do have a duplicate, but as you can see, this is the all-star version, which is just a little bit different. It's kind of like the greatest hits or whatever. So I'm not going to be splitting them up. I'll go ahead and keep them, even though they're basically the same. Let's see if the discs look the same. They do. So it's just this insert, but this is a cheap game anyway. Daytona USA, we played this on the channel recently, and yeah, what an awesome game this was. So pretty fun, pretty hard. If I was doing it again, I think I could do a lot better. And then of course, Hydro Thunder. What an amazing game this is. This is an awesome, oh, it's broken. This is an awesome arcade game as well. So really fun arcade game, and yeah, just a classic, awesome arcade game. Really high intensity, and yeah, really fun. Here Solar for the Dreamcast is a game that I got from Watermelon Games. I was watching Radical Reggie's channel, so if you haven't seen his stuff, check him out. And he mentioned that he had like kickstarted this game or something like that, and they took forever. But I got the Genesis version, I also got the Dreamcast version, and they're like re-releases or whatever, but still pretty cool. And if I do play this game, which I do want to do, I'm going to play this one just because it's, it's going to have cooler graphics and stuff. But I don't know, the Genesis one is appealing too, and the graphics totally look different. So this is Biohazard Code Veronica, and what an amazing game this is. This is the Japanese edition, as you can see, and I try and keep this one kind of locked away because I actually have the Resident Evil Code Veronica Special Edition Dreamcast, which I will feature in a console video that's going to be coming up. But yeah, I mean, this is just awesome. I like to keep it all together, but yeah. Code Veronica, what an awesome game. This isn't the version I would be playing, but still, pretty cool. This is just an old memory card, which is kind of funny. When I saw this, I didn't even know what it was. I was like, what the hell? So this is just it's an old VMU, basically. Actually, I don't think it's a VMU, it's just a memory card. The VMU means that it's a visual memory unit. So because there's no screen on it, I don't think it's visual. So yeah, it's just the memory card, which is kind of interesting. All right, so here's Worms World Party, which is a pretty rare Dreamcast game, I think. I don't know, I'm trying to remember, but anyway, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty fun game. This is Sega Smash Pack Volume 1. So this is tons of cool games. This is Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe, Shining Force, Wrestle War, Streets of Rage 2, hell yeah, Columns, Virtual Cop 2, Revenge of Shinobi, Altered Beast, Sega Swirl, which, I don't know, that's like some puzzle game. And then Phantasy Star 2, which is pretty sick, and Vector Man. So definitely a cool, collection. And who knows, maybe there's some unlockables on here. I don't really even remember. Evil Dead, Hail to the King. Now, I love Evil Dead, and I love everything about the series. Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. This game is somewhat, I don't know, I'm not going to say disappointing. It's fun for a while. It just gets old, and it's pretty tough, too. It's unrelenting. So, Phantasy Star Online, I never really got a chance to play this online, unfortunately. So, I just never really made it. And, I mean, I had it, and it was like we booted it up and checked it out, but never really made it that far. And you can play it single player, too. Fighting Force 2 is a total departure from the first Fighting Force. It's more of like a espionage type game, if I remember. I think you even have guns and stuff. So it's not nearly as cool, in my opinion, as the Fighting Force. This is more like Shooting Force. But anyway, now here's the version of Code Veronica that I would play, which is a classic, awesome version. And I just highly recommend this game if you like Resident Evil. It's a really good one. Now, Sega Rally Championship is basically Sega Rally 2. This game, I've completely beat this. I love this game so much. And yeah, if I can recommend this to you in any way, if you like rally games and stuff, this is so fun. The control at first feels like crap, and then you'll just get so good at it. And it's tight, like, it basically teaches you how to like power slide, and it's just really well done. And the very last game that I have is Seaman, or Seaman, I should say, which has Leonard Nimoy, the voice of this creature. And you have to have the microphone, which I do have the microphone for this game. It plugs in and you can talk to him and you can say things, you know, but it's pretty interesting, you know. So it's funny, as I went through this, I am looking at and thinking how many Dreamcast games I'm missing. It's just that I'm not collecting for it right now. You know, that's just not the way I collect. I try and only collect for a couple systems at once unless the games pop up, and then I'll get them. So anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and you know, stay tuned. There's going to be lots more other video game moving videos and also other gameplay videos coming up. So until next time, you know what to do. You keep that shit retro by playing your Sega Dreamcast later on.